blessing of descent, and her daughter, Selena. Yes? Yes. And I am going to do an intake. Want you to kind of get a feel for what happens in the intake. We'll give her the chance to respond. They know we've given a scenario, and so I don't want them to tell. We didn't rehearse. Okay, this is how I want you to respond, because I'm going on the fly here, so you'll get to observe a bit of that. And then after a bit, we'll break. We'll stop, and Mom will leave. And if there are questions about the intake or about what happened in that first session, and then we'll say 5 to 6 sessions in, it'll just be me and Selena. Mom obviously will come in that first part of that session, so you'll get a feel for what a session would look like. Okay. Mrs. Gomez, well, thank you for coming in today. Now, you just briefly, I want to make sure you understood the paperwork, and I want to go over limits of confidentiality. So do you have any questions about the paperwork that you completed? Okay. There are actually 4 limits that I need to talk with you about. Everything that goes on here in this room stays in this room, with the exception of if you or Selena report to me that you're going to do something to harm yourself or to harm someone else. I'm obligated by law to report those things. If you were to tell me that you got so frustrated with Selena at one point that you threw her up against the wall and she started crying, but you also noticed that she started bleeding, that is something that I would have to report as a form of abuse, child abuse. Are your parents still living? Yes. Yes? Let's say your mom is 69 years old, and you get frustrated with mom at the same point, and mom is in the home, and you get so frustrated with mom, you shut her up against the wall, and mom breaks her arm in the process. That is also something, what we call elder abuse, that I'm obligated by law to report. The third limit of confidentiality has to do with if the court were for some reason to subpoena the records for therapy here, I'm obligated by law to report that, or to turn those records over. So that's what I would do. The final thing has to do with me. I am a resident in psychology, meaning I am not licensed as of yet. So I am supervised. My supervisor's name, I won't tell you this. And if you need to contact her at all, I can give you her phone number. I don't talk in detail about my cases with my supervisor, but I do at least address things with her so that she knows what's going on in my cases. All right? Selena, can you tell me why do you think you're here today?
Because I'm bad.
You're bad? Yeah. Who says you're bad?
Teacher?
Teachers say you're bad? Yeah. Do you know what it is that's making them say you're bad?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to talk with Mom a bit, and I may ask you some questions every so often, too. Is that okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? Okay. How do you feel about coming here?
Do I get to play?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's okay.
That's what I love to do with children, is to play. So you okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
All right, great. Well, right now I'm not going to play with you. I'm going to talk a bit with Mom.
I can play?
Absolutely. You can, yeah. So, Mrs. Gomez, can you tell me what's been going on, what's brought you in?
So, my husband and I are very worried about our daughter. I guess it's been about 3 or 4 weeks ago, all of a sudden she became very aggressive. And she was always a very quiet child, very calm, very loving. And then it was like a switch. All of a sudden she wants to hit me. She's very angry. She hits her little brother and little sister. She's misbehaving at school. And she was always a good student. So I don't understand.
How long ago did you notice this change?
It's been about a month.
And she's how old?
She's 9.
Okay, and her date of birth?
You guys told you, we didn't practice with
What year is it?
Yeah, we know.
Okay. June 1st, 2001.
And you said you have 2 other children?
Yes.
And how old are they?
My son is 7,
Okay.
and my other daughter is 3.
Okay. And how long have you been married?
For 12 years.
12 years. Okay. And you said your parents are living?
Yes.
Yeah. And your husband's parents, are they living?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any medical issues in your family? Let's start with your side of the family. Are there any medical problems?
Other than maybe high blood pressure or, things like that.
Okay. Now, who is it that has high blood pressure?
My mother.
Your mom has high blood pressure. Okay, and what about your husband's side of the family? Are there any medical?
His mother has very bad asthma,
Okay.
but other than that, nothing.
Okay. Do you have siblings?
Yes.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
I have one brother and one sister as well.
And what's your relationship like with them?
My brother, it's a strained relationship. We don't really speak that often, but I'm very close to my younger sister.
If you don't mind my asking, what is it that's brought about the strain in your relationship with your brother?
He just is very independent. He wants to go out and explore and venture out, and he's not very close to the family. He wants to keep to himself.
Okay. And what about your husband? Does he have siblings?
Yes. We also have a brother and sister.
A brother and a sister. Okay. And what is your relationship like with your in-laws?
They live far away from us,
Mhm.
so we don't see them very often, not as much as we would like to. But it's a very cordial relationship.
And what about your relationship with your parents?
It's good as well. We're very close. They love our children. They like to see them a lot.
Now, is there any medical problems, or is there a history of any medical problems with Selena?
No, nothing else.
What about her developmental process? Did she walk at the developmentally appropriate time and crawl? And about what age was she when she started crawling? Do you remember?
I believe it was about 10 months.
Okay. And what about when she took her first step?
Okay, about 12 months.
And when did she say her first word?
Okay, about 13 months.
Okay. And this was probably about 18. When did she use her? When did she have like her first string of words that she had in a sentence?
About 18 months.
So there were no head injuries. Has she ever taken a fall or?
No, but now that you mention it, I have noticed she's been complaining about headaches
Okay.
often,
Okay.
stomach aches.
Okay. And that's been within this last month that you're talking about. Okay.
And she was always a good baby, never had any problems sleeping, but I've noticed lately she's been waking up and has nightmares too.
Okay.
And that never was the case before.
When was she potty trained? Maybe you should know this was your
She about 2.
So sorry. I'm so distracted by her play. Are you enjoying those things? Selena, do you remember anything about when you were a little girl? Do you remember things that you liked to play with or what you liked to do?
Dolls?
You like to play with dolls? Okay. Do you play with dolls now? Yeah. Oh, fun. Yeah. Do you have dolls at home? Yeah. Yeah. Do you have friends that you play with dolls with?
Yes.
Yeah. How many friends do you? You just have one friend? Yeah. How often do you play with that friend?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Yeah. Does she come over like once a week or